Learn the secrets of success. Exclusive insights and information from the experts. Tag Radio. Ready to let your mind go wherever technology leads? Then tag, you're it. Tag Radio. Here today. Imagine tomorrow. The future of medicine defies all imagination as researchers develop, acquire, and expand existing technologies. Large and growing markets for products that bring immediate, tangible benefits to the physician and patients continue to increase exponentially. Medical technology. Companies providing innovative detection and monitoring solutions for the cancer detection and diabetes healthcare markets are at the leading edge. The market for a non-invasive cervical cancer detection system is estimated at $1.3 billion, with experts predicting significant increases with the introduction of new innovative products. The glucose monitoring market is estimated at $6 billion a year. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, December 3rd, 2007, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantello. Pursuing opportunities for leading-edge medical technologies goes under examination as the Tech Talk turns to this multi-billion-dollar segment of the booming healthcare market. Tino speaks with President and Chief Executive Officer of SpectRX, Dr. Mark Faupel. Atlanta-based SpectRX technologies are uniquely suited to address many unmet needs in the huge and growing cancer and diabetes markets. An innovator in detection and monitoring solutions, SpectRX has led the industry in biophotic technology, which uses light and spectral energies to create painless alternatives to blood-based and tissue-based procedures. Dr. Faupel has more than 20 years of experience as a senior executive developing non-invasive alternatives. Prior to coming to SpectRX in 1998, he served as Vice President of Business Development and co-founder of Guided Therapeutics, and as a senior executive and co-founder of Biofield Corporation. Dr. Mark is the inventor on 15 U.S. patents, author of numerous scientific publications and presentations in the top peer-reviewed journals, and earned his Ph.D. in neuroanatomy and physiology from the University of Georgia. Medical technology. Where are we today, and what will tomorrow bring to living longer and healthier lives? As Tino in the Tech Talk examines the multi-billion-dollar booming business of medical technology with SpectRX President and CEO, Dr. Mark Faupel.
Mark, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Let's, for our listening audience, can you give us the overview in terms of the prevalence of cervical cancer, and has there been improvements over the last, say, decade?
There have been improvements in reducing the rate in developed countries where there's widespread screening for cervical cancer using the Pap test. Right now in the U.S., there are about 11,000 cases each year, and unfortunately still 3,600 deaths. In the rest of the world, where there are many cases where Pap screening is not taking place, it's a very, very serious disease, and there are about 400,000 cases worldwide and 200,000 deaths worldwide from cervical cancer. However, in the U.S., the cost of this prevention through screening is very, very high, and there are about 5 million women each year that have to get called back for additional examinations after having an abnormal Pap test. So we're doing a good job in finding the cancers, but it is at a very, very high cost in terms of patient anxiety and cost to the medical healthcare system, and that is one of the aspects we believe our technology may be able to address.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your technology. It's relatively new, and maybe the best place to start is the underlying technology for the detection device.
Sure. The methodology that's used for detecting cancer and precancer with our device is called spectroscopy, and that's the use of light to analyze molecules. And all molecules in the universe have a specific spectral signature, and if you stimulate them with the correct wavelength of light, you can then measure the resulting reflectance and absorbance of light, and that can tell you what that molecule is. In the case of cancer, We use both fluorescence spectroscopy, which is the tendency for some molecules actually to fluoresce for brief periods of time when stimulated with a specific wavelength of light. And then also on top of that, we use reflectance spectroscopy, which is, again, is the differential absorbance and reflectance of various wavelengths of light. So putting these two together, we get better accuracy than if we used either one alone.
And you're starting to get into it, but the advantages to that versus the conventional process of the pap smear and the other sorts of testing?
Well, the other testing that is done, the pap smear, and then there's also a newer test called the human papillomavirus test, are laboratory-based tests. And one of the disadvantages is that they require a laboratory analysis and a delay in getting the results back to the physician and the patient. And sometimes, more often than one would think, the woman fails to be impressed by a letter she may get saying she needs to come back. So the delay causes anxiety and causes the loss of the patient follow-up for additional tests. And as I said earlier, these tests have very high false positive rates and also some false negatives, especially in the case of the pap test. So there's quite a bit of disease that's actually missed from time to time with these tests, but also a very, very high false positive rate.
So where are you in the process? You're through all the clinical trials and
Well, we've tested over 1,000 women and published data on that number of women prior to starting our FDA pivotal trial. And as most people know, all medical devices in the U.S. are regulated by the U.S. FDA. And so we've worked with the FDA to develop a trial that will provide the FDA and us the ability to market this device in the U.S. And we're about three-quarters of the way through that trial, and that is in addition to the 1,000 women we've tested previously. So there's actually been quite a bit of clinical testing at well-known prestigious clinics throughout the U.S., and these results have been published in peer-reviewed journals.
And so when you say three-quarters of the way there, and in the ideal world, how long before you could actually have it